Happy Thursday. I want to thank you so much for being a part of this podcast today. I am live with my brother Delwin Island. There's been so much that's going on in the world today, and I'm just excited that you took time out of your Thursday to come hang out with your boy CT3. Today, I have my boy in the studio. His name is Delwin Island. He's been on the show before. He's a creative. He's a songwriter. We're in this series. The creative series is entitled Artist at Heart. And as you will hear from my boy, if you saw the last time, he definitely is an artist at heart. And so we're excited to have him back with us today. He has a new project called This Uncertain Year, and we're going to chop up about that today. So stick around, stay tuned, get live in the chat, get live. Please share and like and send us some hearts. We're going to have a great conversation today on this episode of Moments of Clarity. Let's go. Delwin Island. What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
What's up, Charlie? I'm good, man.
Man,
I'm
it's so
good.
great to see you again, man. I know there's so much that's going on, and I've been on a hiatus myself. Just had to take a break, but I'm back. We're back with Moments of Clarity, and I'm so glad that I get to kick it off with you. Last time we talked, you were going to be working on new music, and man, not only did you work on some new music, man, you have a whole nother project out.
Mm.
That's called This
This uncertain
Uncertain.
year.
Man, listen here, bro. So first, before we dive into this project, how have you been, man? How have you been? It's been a little minute.
You know what, man? I've been okay. Where I am in Michigan, man. This coronavirus dude is taking on a different life as it has, in different places around the country. And so that's put a little bit of a squeeze on things.
Yeah.
From a ministry perspective, I work as a worship pastor. Things have changed in our ministry context a little bit, and it's caused us to have to pivot. And I think that doesn't just have effects on the church or the workplace, you know what I mean? But like that affects all parts of life, having to pivot in one way. And so,
Right.
yeah, been doing some recalibration and yeah.
But I think that's life. I think everybody is doing that very same thing. I think we all are recalibrating. There. I was supposed to be on tour this year with one of my.
Wow.
Yeah, I was supposed to be on tour with a production that I wrote called Music Matters, and so I was
Okay.
doing like a four cities tour in four different states, and so all that was supposed to happen this year. And man, I
that,
had some
that
events
virus,
and.
man.
I mean, listen, Thug Rona is what I call her. Um, pull right up, and we all have had to do just that, readjust ourselves, and nevertheless, we are yet sailing, nonetheless.
Yep.
And so we're definitely grateful, obviously, be alive. And there's so much that's going on, obviously, as you said. There's so many lives have been lost, due to this coronavirus. And so I just want to encourage all of you all, stay safe. If you have to go out, definitely mask up and take care of yourself and take care of your loved ones. So Delvin, back to you, man. Um,
Yeah, man.
so you have a new project. So tell me about your project that you have. It's called This Uncertain Year.
Yeah, so I put out a 4-song EP last Friday, This Uncertain Year.
Okay.
And it's about 15 minutes of music. Um, and I think packed within that 15 minutes of music, I'm doing a lot of, uh, I guess, kind of reflecting on what 2020 has been like. It's the kind of project that I wouldn't have been able to write unless the stuff in this year had happened,
Right.
hence the name This Uncertain Year.
Right.
And so, I mean, this year has just been like a constant rollout of things. And so in the project, I make a mention of, I don't mention names, but, not only talking about like making a reference to COVID, but also all of the luminary individuals that we've lost, starting in it was like late January, early February with Kobe. And, So like we've had Kobe, we've had John Lewis, we've had Ruth Bader Ginsburg, like we've had, my man T'Challa, um, so many people. Um, and what I found, and I don't know if it's like this for you, Charlie, or for the people that are watching, but all of these famous people, I never met them. They wouldn't know me from Adam, but it felt like I came up with Kobe Bryant. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because he
Yeah.
was in the NBA at the same time that I was learning the game of basketball and appreciated and so yeah. So I mean, it deals with that. Deals with political stuff. On one of the songs, you know, one of the songs I wrote after Jacob Blake was shot up in I think up in Milwaukee. This man got shot 7 times in the back in front of his kids. Um, and so, I mean, I touch on that, man, and it's songs of prayer and lament, and songs of hope at the same time. And really, one of the songs is kind of a pleading love letter to humanity,
Yeah.
to what I'm saying, to really live into Jesus's prayer that he taught the apostles. You know what I mean? Your kingdom come, your will be done, and how that really happens. Kingdom comes in us. And God is able to God is able to implement His kingdom, the power of His kingdom through His people, just like the Queen of England, or the King of, pick a monarch, based situation. The kingdom is implemented through the people, like the reign and the rule of the kingdom, the laws of the kingdom, like the way of a certain kingdom is implemented and lived
Right.
out through the people. And so I believe that's what Jesus was calling us to pray, and what Jesus was calling us to live out. So, one of the tunes is a prayer that way. And then I for one of the songs, back in February, and we may go track by track, but back in February, I did this thing called February Album Writing Month. And the goal was to write 14 songs in 28 days. And so one of the songs that I wrote was this tune called American Dream. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I was reading up on the Statue of Liberty, and like this little poem, that talks about send me your tired and send me your poor. And just thinking about how, yeah, like that works for some people, but not for everybody,
Right.
and so I wanted to do it in a way that was catchy, that people would be listening to it, and at a certain point be like, oh man, did he just say that? Like, is he, so, a kind of subversive kind of vibe. And so I think about Joni Mitchell, who've done that, Stevie Wonder, and so many amazing songwriters throughout the years that have penned these iconic songs in very subversive ways. And so I just wanted to kind of try my hand in something like that.
But dude, let me say that not only did you do it, man, you did it, and you did it so well. I feel like anybody. Let me say this. Um, I think we all know that this country, in a lot of way, has gone through or is going through still a reckoning in a lot of ways as it
Yeah.
relates to uh, black people's relationship with the government, black and white, and racial stuff, and a lot of this stuff
Hmm.
is social, even though we make it political.
Right.
And on a social level, I think this project really sets tone. I always say this: that music sets the tone for anything to happen.
Yep.
And so if you want to hang out with your if you want to hang out with your boo, you don't play Lord I lift your name on, and even though that's great.
No.
No, if you're hanging out with your wife, you probably
Put
play some
on your
Luther or
red dress. Yeah.
right, right, right. So music
Yeah. Lord.
always
Yeah.
music sets the tone for anything to happen, and so same thing with even as it relates to intimacy with God,
Yeah.
and music sets that tone. And so for this, I feel like this EP sets the tone for what this country needs as it relates
Mhm.
to healing, right? And so healing obviously is our portion, but it's also a choice.
That's good.
We get to choose every day whether we're going to be better or bitter.
Mm.
And there's a lot of bitterness that's going on as it relates to this election. Is all insane in my mind. At the end of the day, ultimately, this country needs to heal, and I feel like this EP, man, really sets that tone
Mm.
for us to start healing and having honest conversations, and conversations where we need to apologize to each other, where we need to try to figure out how can we come together and make our social systems better, because that's what's broke at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
man.
And I feel like this EP really sets the tone for healing to begin. I feel like it was a beautiful love letter to God, also to humanity. So thank
Mm.
you, man. Thank you again for yielding the month of February to this project. And
Yeah.
so thank you, man. This is probably, in my opinion, probably one of the best offerings I've heard this year as it
Thank you,
relates
man.
to bringing people together under an idea, under a thought, to make, because all the lyrics, man, are thought provoking. Um, it's just so poignant, man. So,
Mm.
bruh, so yeah, we're gonna dive into this thing. I know we
Yeah,
talking
man.
about it. I know y'all anxious, so we're gonna listen to some of it. But definitely, those of you that are looking, if you're looking for music to help you heal in this process,
Mm.
definitely go to wherever you get music from and download This Uncertain Year by Delwin Island. And you're gonna hear exactly what I'm talking about in a few minutes, because we're gonna dissect some of these songs. And we're gonna start off with one song that when I first heard it, hey Bonnie, how are you? When I first heard it, I could not. It took me at least 10 minutes to get off this track.
Wow.
Um, and it's the first song on your EP. Is called ABBA.
Mm.
So tell me where you were, what inspired you. I love, man. This, hey, bro, I'm gonna get stressed. It's good stress. It's definitely good stress. But this song, man, is chock full, bruh.
Mm.
Chock full. It's a beautiful love letter to God. And you ask all the right questions. In the realm of religion, most people will say, "Oh, you don't question God," but I think that's insane in a lot of ways. The only way you're going to get clarity about a thing if you
As if you
question
ask
God.
questions. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
asking
Yeah.
all these questions.
Yeah.
So me and John, I mean, listen, I promise you, I have a 21 question song with God. I'm telling you, I'm right there, like, bruh, come on, Dad.
Right.
What's happening right here?
Yeah,
Come
yeah,
through.
yeah. Yeah.
Right. And it's in those moments where we yield ourselves and ask God questions that God responds. God
Mhm.
does respond. God is very clear.
Yeah.
And so this song I thought was a beautiful prayer, man. So tell me where you were and what inspired you to write this song, Abba.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So I had a conversation with one of my buddies here. His name is Neely. And I just, was talking about being in a place where it felt like nothing fresh was coming to me in the writing space. And he was like, well, what about all of the stuff that's going on, social injustice in our country? And at the time I was thinking about how to write for my church. And he was like, nah, man, like I think you need to go the route of, you know, just making a commentary on what's happening. And so I was like, all right. And that day I went to my office and sat down on my piano and just started playing these chords or whatever, and then this the verse melody just kind of came to me, and I don't know, man, almost immediately it just started to become questions, dear God, I hope your heart is broken for the world. and
Yeah.
and when I had that lyric, man, it took me aback, and that's one of the lines where I was like, should I say I hope your heart or I know your heart? You know what I'm saying? Because to say it, I hope your heart is broken. It's like I hope you're happy. I know your heart is broken. That suggested something that I one as a writer, I didn't want to get to that level of resolve at the beginning of the song. I wanted to actually sit in the tension. You know what I'm saying? And I thought about you talk about questioning God, man. I thought about the Psalms of David and how so many times, like the dude was like, I almost fell into a deep dark depression. I almost fell into anguish, and asking God, Lord, how are they increased that trouble me? How are my troubles continuing to mount up? And so I just kind of went in that well, and yeah, I got that first line. I hope your heart is broken for the world. I saw my brother shot in front of his little girl. This was just after Jacob Blake had been shot 7 times by a police officer. He didn't have a daughter, you know. I just had to make that rhyme. But there was another guy who got shot, Philando Castillo, a few years ago. He had a little girl, and so. Um, but yeah, just thinking, I don't know that dude, but that's my brother. And if I were his kin, you know what I'm saying? Like I would be asking these questions, and then to know that the media or the peanut gallery or whatever. I don't mean to be disparaging to people that have their own opinion, but are saying like, no, he should have been shot. I'm like, whoa, God, can you really be okay with that? And
Right.
so, yeah, man, I just wanted to ask those kind of bold questions, and the chorus, Abba, are you listening? It comes from, was that like First Chronicles something, where God is like, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face, I'll forgive them. And so that chorus just kind of came from that, man. And so, yeah, I wanted it to be, yeah, a lament. And
Dog.
yeah,
Congratulations. Yeah, yeah. All of your intentions that you put into this thing is right there.
thank you.
And it's beautiful. So let me let you guys listen to a little bit. This is the first song off of this EP. It's called Abba. Let's take a listen. Dear God, I hope your heart is broken for the world. I saw my brother shot in front of his little girl, and they're saying that the bullets were justified in part, but it feels as if the light we've had is drowning in the dark. Abba, are you listening?
Mm,
Please forgive our sin and heal the land.
mm.
Abba, if you're listening, please forgive our sin and heal the land. Sir, that's a beautiful. The one is scripture for one, but it's a beautiful. I love the way you put that into a melody.
Mm.
Um, it's beautiful, man, and the transitions from your chest to falls in that Abba. Oh man, it's almost like a wailing, and
Mm.
it's just that, dude. It's that layman, and it's dog, bruh. That's great. It's beautiful.
Thank you,
It's
man.
beautiful on so many. It's so many ways. It's beautiful, man.
Thank you,
These
brother.
words definitely are just that. They are definitely powerful. So thank you, Denise. That's true. These
Thank you,
words are
Denise.
powerful, man.
Thank
So
you so
thank you
much.
so much for that. Man, such a great song. I can listen to that song nonstop.
Mm.
And I did. I let that thing go for like 10 minutes, Joe, and I just sat in that
Mm.
for a minute. And I love what you said about your intentions. You wanted to sit in some of that for a moment to make sure that that was direction that you wanted to go in, bruh. It's good on every level, bro. I mean, on
Thank you,
every
man.
level, it is so good. And it's again, that's why I say that this particular project sets that tone. It sets that tone for repentance. It sets that song for saying I'm sorry to God, but then I'm sorry to my fellow man.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, we do have to repent to each other.
Yep. Yep.
Because that's the only way healing is going to begin. And repent to each other. Repent is a word that people like to play with. All repent means is to change your mind.
Exactly. To
Yeah,
turn away.
so yeah, white people do have to change their mind as to way to how they look at black people. Black people have to change their mind as to how they look at white people, and the healing has to start. And this song again sets that tone for healing, bro. So thank you, man. Thank you
Thank
for
you, man.
yielding. Thank you for yielding, man. Because you got to be at a vulnerable place, man, to get here, to question God this hard. And
Yeah.
now all the right questions, bro. All the right
Yeah.
questions, man.
Yeah,
So
man.
thank you, bro. Thank you,
Man,
thank you,
absolutely.
thank you.
Yeah, another thing about the tune, man, like I wanted it to for people to be able to find themselves in it, and realize that this is a collective sin. You know what I mean? Like we call, think about transatlantic slavery, which was in and of itself a pandemic. Like it was a global
Absolutely.
thing. You know what I'm saying? But as it relates to our country, the original sin of the United States of America. And it's something that is pervasive. Like the vestiges of that still exist. And so I wanted it to be like, hey, this is not just my song of repentance or my song of crying out, but as a prophet would go before the Lord and say, hey, forgive us. God, we dumb. Like we don't know what we're doing. Forgive us. I wanted it to be something where everybody would be able to find themselves, and be able to not just have this pressure of praying a individual prayer, but find themselves as a collective, saying, "Oh, there's a sickness in our souls. There's a pestilence in our heart." You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? And so yeah, man.
Dog, it's phenomenal, man. That
Thank you.
song, bro. It's I promise you, it took me at least 10. So it took me a minute. So even though this is 15 minutes of music, it took me probably 3 hours to get through.
Wow.
It just it sat with me, and again, I listened to the lyrics. I sat in those lyrics, man. I cried, and I tell people it's important to do that. It is important to cry, because crying obviously is healing, right?
Yep.
It is, as you begin to purge your soul, especially of toxins and
Yeah, man.
negativity and hatred and things that shouldn't have been there anyway. That's definitely not the will of God, for you to be in this place of bitterness, and it is challenging, especially when you see so much that's happening on the news. Um, and so I just appreciate you communicating these social and some of these political issues
Mhm.
in a way that I feel like God is like, man, I'm pleased with that. I'm pleased with that.
Wow.
So, bro, thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
So,
Thank
man, yeah, so we can stay on that album for a minute. It really snatched me, bro. As soon as I heard it, I'm like, this is gonna stress me out for a minute, but I had to sit in it. I really did. I had to sit in it. I had to listen. I had to listen intently to those lyrics until those lyrics became my lyrics.
you.
Um, to a point where I was saying that to God. You know what I'm saying? Please forgive us our sins and please heal this land because it's tore off right now.
Yeah,
So yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for that.
absolutely.
So the next song on the EP is the title track. It's
Yep,
called "This Uncertain Year." As everybody knows, a 2020 man has been a body snatcher. It's
exactly.
also been just so many tensions are high, and the election didn't add to it at all. It actually stressed people out a lot, and you would think that now that the election is over, that the stress and intense will go away. No, is yet there.
Oh
And I
man.
think it's yeah. And so yeah, so we still 2020 is still trying to let us know I'm still here. And and it's like the year that won't end, Doc.
Hey
And
man,
even though we're coming to the end of it, it seems like it's a year that won't end.
I
Um,
joked. I joked with somebody back in summer. I was like, man, we're gonna get to the end of December, and December gonna be like, no, dog. It's December 32nd, fool. Like,
right, it's still going.
keep going.
Yeah, it's gonna be like oh,
120 days of December.
I'm telling you, bro, it's gonna be like old man winter in Chicago. I won't let go. That old man winter stays in Chicago. when I moved to Chicago, it was so crazy for me because it was a culture shock because I'm from the South, and
Uh-huh.
so around March, bro, we got our shorts on, we're going to the pool, and living in Chicago, bro, it was just the opposite. Old man Winter's like, bro, what you think you doing? And
Exactly.
it stayed in Chicago till like June. Nigga, just we out here. So
Hey man, Chicago, and where I am too, man, Grand Rapids, man, and West
oh
Michigan,
yeah,
man,
and
it's
y'all
like
still, but yeah, it's Lake Michigan is all there. So yeah, y'all, yeah, same
it's
thing.
like with snow on you in May. You know,
Wow. See,
definitely you're not safe until you're not considerably safe until April is done. But
wow.
you know, you might get a couple flakes in
Yeah,
May.
see, all that strange energy
Yeah,
for me,
man.
Doc.
That'll piss
So
you
the,
off
the
real
next
bad.
the next song is called "This Uncertain Year." Again, like I said, it's been a crazy year. So, which is the title of the EP.
Yeah,
So, I know you talked about earlier about as you were writing this song, you were thinking about it's definitely a song about reflection for the one. And so this song coming out this time of year is beautiful, bro, because this year has been so traumatic for so many people.
yeah,
Who would want to reflect on it? So it's like, no, we want to erase that out of history like it never happened, obviously. But it is important to reflect on this year. Obviously, there are a lot of mistakes made this year. One, so we won't be back here next year. There are so many mistakes that were made. There were so many human errors that were put into play this year that caused us to lose a lot of people. And so this year has been uncertain. It still is uncertain. So tell me the space you were in when you penned the song.
yeah. So this came right on the heels of writing ABBA. um,
Stop, Abadat. Wait.
hey, man. Yeah, it came right on the heels of writing it, and this little melody for the chorus hit me, and the melody and lyric kind of hit me at the same time. Though the fear I feel is real to me, and you there is no fear. You know what I'm saying? There's perfect love available in this uncertain year, and that just came from this place of perfect love casting out fear. Like I believe that, and to the one who puts their hope in the Christ, we believe that. And if fear wasn't a real thing, then Jesus wouldn't have to tell people 300 plus times to not be anxious and to not fear.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
so again, like I didn't want it to be something that was overly like there is no, like I'm not afraid, I'm not worried. No, I live in a perpetual state of anxiety, kind of, that because this COVID, it can hit anybody, dog.
Gotta know it.
I work out 5 times a week. That don't mean nothing. If I lower my mask and somebody sneeze on me and cough on me, I'm a goner, man. And so,
Right.
um, just that kind of realness. Yeah, I was just in that space, man, and I started thinking about, and try to put this in the lyrics, man. But just the people that we have lost, who have lost their battle to COVID, and then I started thinking about not only has COVID been a booger bear, but so many people who we've loved from afar, so many luminaries and celebrities have died. Kobe Bryant, and for NBA heads like David Stern, and but bro, I when Kobe died, I was messed up. I was messed up for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, man.
I mean, like it was that kind of stuff. It felt like family member or cousin or something like that was dying, and then throughout the months, Bill Withers passed. Bill Withers died this year.
Yeah.
I mean, and Little Richard died this year,
Yeah.
and this is music royalty. And then recently, Rance Allen passed.
Rants. Yep.
You know what I mean? And Willie James Campbell, for people that may be watching from Chicago, but Ruth Bader Ginsburg and John Lewis and, my man, I keep forgetting his actual name, was Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh, Chadwick.
Chadwick
Chadwick Boseman.
Boseman,
Yeah. Yeah.
like just out of nowhere,
Yeah.
And so I just started thinking like this year has taken an incredible toll, um, from the perspective of loss, and also from the perspective of like you talk about the political and the social landscape, man. It's just been um, we can never go into a year feeling like we have any sense of control over what's going to happen. And I think 2020 has accentuated the obvious that we don't have control over nothing. And yet the hopeful piece in that is that perfect love still cast out fear, even in a time that is as unsettling and as uncertain as the one that we living in. So yeah, man.
Dude, this song is beautiful, bro. It's called The Uncertain Year. Let's listen a little bit of
There are friends we've known a long way. We've lost them to the fight. And there are some we thought invincible that slipped into the night. These days will be remembered by wounded storytellers who saw the light despite the dark. And though the fear I feel is real to me, in you there is no fear, for there is perfect love available in this uncertain year.
that first verse is just chock full of so much just goodness, bro. Uh, wounded storytellers.
Mm.
Oh man, all that all that. Yeah, man, that's beautiful, bro.
Thank you,
Thank you
man.
so much for again. You're painting pictures, man, that everybody can see. That can see clearly.
Mm.
Um, for um, for us as storytellers that can see. That's all we try to see. That is the only thing that gives us um, hope is that we could see the world. We see the potentiality that the world has to be better than it is right now,
Mm-hmm.
and we constantly strive for it in our everyday living. We constantly strive for it within humanity, within our social systems, and that's it. That's all we have, you
Yeah,
know.
man.
And so you were talking about, the Bible talking about, the kingdom come to the earth, but the kingdom comes to us first, and
Yeah.
then through us, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so we have a responsibility to make sure that we're lighting the world up with love, and it's so unfortunate, and it's been so weird just watching how people that profess the name of God, profess the name of Jesus, wear so much hate, just like natural. Like this is who we are. And it's like, then how do you say that you belong to God again?
Befuddles,
Um,
dog. I
what'd you say?
said that befuddles me.
I've been like, what's happening? Man, listen, yeah. So and so I took a hiatus. One because I sprained my ankle,
Oh,
but then I needed a break, because the world was getting crazier every day, and it was like, oh, I can't watch the TV today, or I'm gonna burn down this city too. You know what I'm saying? So
hey,
So yeah, man, it's pretty interesting. And so this song, bruh, this uncertain year is a great song of reflection on a year that's been trying for all of us.
yeah.
And so I say again, the reason why I love this project is because again, I'll say this over and over again. Healing definitely is our portion. It is also our choice. And so if we want to start the healing process, I feel like these melodies, bro, are a great place to start.
Thank you.
Um, just to start the healing process, just to start having a hard conversation, just to start repenting within ourselves, start repenting to God, and start repenting to each other so that healing can begin.
Mm.
That's the only way it's going to begin. Once we get over ourselves, and and just respect people for who they are. You know what I'm saying? As all of us being children of God. So thank you, man. Thank you so much. This project, man. Oh, bro. Man, I'm telling you, 15 minutes worth of music took me 3 hours to get through. It just did.
You
It was really good.
Hey man,
Um,
that's a huge compliment, man. And I'll tell you, uh, one of the biggest compliments that I got from this whole thing, I had a friend who's a worship leader out in Vegas hit me and was like, I started listening to your record and I couldn't get past like midway through the second song and I had to stop. And she was like, the recently like times have just been hard. And she's like, it's a great thing that I had to stop because it actually made me think and feel. And I didn't really want to feel that deeply and think that deeply. And so I was like, that that's all right. That's all right. And I didn't intend for people to take, 3 hours to get through it. I want people to stream it as much as possible, go back and listen to them joints. But yeah, man, if it makes people think and makes people feel, then I think that's good music, man. Like that's what it's
Absolutely.
supposed to do. Um,
Absolutely.
so
Yeah, and so I wanted to Bonnie Frazier's a good friend of mine, and she said I can't help it. I feel like crying every time I hear and you're in that song, Wounded Storytellers.
mm,
And it's just those lyrics that when I first heard it, I'm like, rewind that back for me one more time. I'm trying to,
mm,
yeah, it was good, bro. The placement of it was great. It communicates all the right things. Because yeah, this has been a year where a lot of people, man, we all have been wounded in one area or another, and the trauma of this year has been overwhelming for a lot of people, man. It's my
yeah,
heart breaks as I'm seeing on the news teenagers committing suicide because obviously they want to be social and be around people and their friends, and this pandemic has people on lockdown. And
yeah,
so, bro, thank you so much for speaking to our trauma
mm,
in this process.
absolutely.
Because it's not until we acknowledge our trauma, one, that the healing process can begin for all of us anyway. And so this song helps us to look at the trauma, deal with it, process it, and allow it to heal out of us. So thank you, bro. I'm telling you, bro. This project, man, is medicine, bro, on every level, man. It deals with the psychology, bro. It deals with the mind. It deals with the spirit. It deals with the soul of us, bro. And it's so well rounded, man. And we got two more songs to get. We got two more songs to get through. Look, we're on 40 something minutes of the
Hey,
bro.
man,
I'm telling you,
I want to, I
it's
want,
good.
I want to say real quick, man, just to shout out the people that helped me make the project. All of the piano is my boy who was my music director for years at Willow. His name is Tracy Stingley.
Oh,
For
Tracy, yeah, man.
incredible piano player. He's a preacher, man. He's a pastor. He's a leader out of Chicago. And my boy Anders Nordstrom is playing all the guitars. The
Wow,
strings on ABBA were arranged by a phenomenal cellist in LA called Michelle Packman.
wow,
Um, and programming on the next song that's coming up, The Upside of Heaven, is Jimmy Carter is on bass, and then my boy Tyler Standard did some drum programming and some other stuff, and I got a couple guys that engineered the project: Phil Shaw, Zach Kranz. I just want to show my people some love, man. And the whole project, Charlie, the first three songs were supposed to just be piano and vocal, and I was just gonna put it out like that. I got inspired listening to a guy named D Wilson.
okay,
D is incredible. D is he's one of my favorite songwriters and artists these days, man. But he did a record where it was just like him and either acoustic or him and piano. I was like, yo, I could do something like that.
hmm
But then as I started listening to him, I was like, nah, let's produce this thing out and add some more, man. So I just want to big up the people that that put the time and the effort into making this project what it is.
yeah. Yeah, it was dope. And you mentioned Jimmy, dude. I ain't seen Jimmy in so long, man.
That's my
Tracy,
boy,
all those guys, man.
my boys, man.
Phenomenal artists and musicians in their own right, man. And so that's great, man. That felt like a reunion, I'm sure.
Yeah, man. Those my guys.
That's dope, bro. That is dope. So the next song is "Upside of Heaven."
Yeah.
Um, Bruh, the idea of this is beautiful. The lyrical content of this song, bruh, it's freaking crazy, man. It's
Yeah,
phenomenal, bruh. So I so appreciate, again, like I always say, bro, your vulnerability when you write from these places, man, that make you think, that make you process differently than just an average person, bruh.
yeah,
So thank you. So where were you? What provoked you to put this song on this particular EP?
yeah, yeah. So it was a night where I couldn't, you got those nights where you lay in the bed and you can't quite sleep. And so my wife was sitting there reading, the light was on, and these lyrics, man, like the this chorus thing, until we arrive on the upside of heaven and behold him face to face. And it just whole thing about bringing heaven to earth. Like I think so often, we can be prone to neglecting the in the grand scope of the grand scheme of things. We only have a minute on this earth, man. All of us, we we like the flowers that fade away, bro. They grow and they're gone, and the earth continues to tick. And so I just wanted to put something out that was like, yeah, let's embrace the time that we have, not to tear down other people, right? Not to push an agenda, not to fight for, a political stance, not to necessarily build a platform, but to do the thing that Jesus is asking us to do, which is to bring heaven to earth. It's to implement kingdom. And so yeah, and yeah, I wanted to do that. And I'll talk about the second verse. The second verse was probably the hardest thing I've written. And you'll probably started at the first one, man. But the second verse was, um, is the unborn child more worthy of living than the unarmed man who has his life taken? Who gets to choose which one matters? And that thing came to me, and I was like, wow, I don't know if I can put that out. Like like the people that follow me, in my sphere of influence are on one side or the other of the political aisle, and I don't know. It was just a thing of, yeah, like we raise our flags, we raise our, we fight for certain things, and at the end of the day, who gets to decide which one matters most? You know what I mean? So why not go all in and say, no, I hear what you're saying. I want you to hear what I'm saying, and at the same time, I don't need to fight you about it.
Right.
And so, yeah, man.
But I think that's a beautiful idea. It's so interesting to me how people they'll get stuck on their way of thinking, and then I always tell people that that's stuck in the way of thinking. So, oh, well, you don't want to have a conversation; you want to have a monologue. Because if we're conversating, it's a dialogue. It's two
Exactly.
way. That
Yep.
means I hear your point of view, and I respect it. I think that's dope that you have that point of view. I think equally though, you have to respect the person that you are doing all this mouthing off to,
Mhm.
respect their opinion as well, and respect their point of view. Listen to their point of view.
Yep.
Because I challenged someone that came to me and said they were pro life. I said, "Oh man, okay, cool. You're pro life," and I was like, "Okay, cool." I said, "Well, how are you pro life?" And then when somebody says Black Lives Matter, that's an issue for you
Exactly.
because Black Lives Matter is pro life. I mean, that's it's an indictment against this country that anybody even has to say Black Lives Matter.
Hmm.
That means that for so long,
They didn't.
it's been communicated and showed to us that black boys' lives, black girls' lives don't really matter if
Hmm.
they can be just gunned down in the street by police and it be deemed to be, oh yeah, well, yeah, they had a knife. Okay,
Yep.
he had a knife, but you shot him how many times again? And he had a knife. If that's the
Amen.
case, there are several instances we found that they were unarmed. So we
Yeah.
have unarmed black and brown people getting shot in the street, and so a person can say, on one hand, I'm pro-life. Got you. I'm with you on that. Black Lives Matter. No. Well, that's stupid. That's the greatest level of hypocrisy on the earth. And so
Exactly.
I think when people begin to realize that we all are saying the same thing, that humanity matters. life matters, and so we have to protect it at all costs. It's
Exactly.
not cool for anybody to die. Anybody.
Exactly.
At the hand of police officers or at the hand of each other. It's not cool at all.
Exactly.
And so this song, Upside Down, I'm sorry, Upside of
Outside of
Heaven.
that.
Yeah, Upside of Heaven. Let's listen to a bit of it
Yeah.
because I'm gonna listen through that second verse too because it spoke to me, man. I was wailing
Mm.
because I think you communicated everything, and of course, as I'm communicating with people, I always try to think, what's a better way to say that? What's a better way to say it? And so when I heard this lyric, I was like, sir, you just stressed me out again. So thank you for this, man. Let's listen to Upside of Heaven.
Yeah.
Turn off your eyes and engage your imagination. There's a new world waiting. Try to envision a place where the color of skin isn't separating. Oh, I believe that
Delwin.
we'll get there till we arrive on the other side of heaven and behold him face to face. May we embrace the moment we're given and bring heaven here. Is the unborn child more worthy of living than the unarmed man who has his life taken, gets to choose which one matters till we arrive
Delwin.
on the upside of heaven and behold him face to face. May we embrace the moment we're given and bring heaven here below till we arrive on the upside of heaven and see Jesus face to face. May we embrace the moment we're given to bring heaven here below.
Bruh. Man, that's so good, bro. That's so good. That's so good. That is so good, bruh.
Thank you, man.
May we embrace, man, because I think that's the thing that we have to realize, man. We all have an opportunity.
Yep.
It's an opportunity that we have for people that profess to be Christians. Then again, you have responsibility to bring heaven or the kingdom to earth. Our responsibility, we have responsibility to show people the kingdom, what it looks like, what it feels like, so people should be able to tangibly connect with us and connect with God.
Yep. Yep.
It shouldn't be that far away. You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
shouldn't be that distant. It shouldn't be like way. It shouldn't be in your subconscious. It
Yeah.
should be
Yeah.
the essence. It should be the essence of who you are. That when people come in contact with you, each one of us, Delwin, you are, everybody that's watching, each one of us is an experience.
Yeah.
And so when people encounter us, what are they experiencing? Are they experiencing a bit of heaven on earth through you? And
Yeah.
if not, that's problematic.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is
And not,
problematic. We have a
and that's on you.
responsibility to
That means you got to change something.
yeah, it's problematic because we have a responsibility to make sure that we are communicating in a way that the lion and the lamb can cooperate and
Oh.
be in the same space. And yeah, man, and that's problematic in our society. That's it's actually problematic in the church. The church is still the most divided place in the country on Sunday.
Mhm.
And what it says to me clearly is that we have not seen the kingdom. We haven't seen it apparently,
Yeah.
because if we can't communicate it, if we can't if we can't express it to people, that people can feel it, connect with it, buy into the idea of it,
Mhm.
then it's wrong.
Yeah. And I think, you know what, what's even more messed up now. I mean, I remember Dr. King, talking about 11 o'clock or whatever on Sunday being the most divided hour of the week in the country, and now it's not just racially divided.
Right.
I'm saying, like, it's this political thing that, politics has existed for, as far back as people can remember. But in these last handful of years, dog, it's just been a completely different beast.
Yeah.
And I serve in a church where our church is all white, but it couldn't be like as far left and right. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And all of these people still occupy the same space. And I think we've been blessed enough to keep Jesus the main thing. But the reality is, like you say, man, even within the walls of the place that is supposed to be representative of the kingdom, there's so much division, and it's
Yeah.
heartbreaking. It's,
It's heartbreaking, bro.
oh God.
What it says to me clearly is that yeah, we haven't seen the kingdom. We haven't been in contact with it enough to know that it is real, to be able to express it and communicate it to others in a way that people can feel and connect with it. That's what it
Mhm.
says to me. Is, oh, you had okay, I get it. Yep. And when Jesus was saying that the kingdom is at hand, what he was basically saying is the kingdom is attached, it's
Yeah,
adjoined to you, it's connected to you. And so instead of, most people think they have to look up. No, look within. The kingdom
yeah,
is
yeah,
in
yeah.
you. It really is. As
Kingdom
you
come
tune
in.
yourself with God, I promise you, as you align yourself with God, God begins to show you who you are. And as God shows you who you are, you see your place in the kingdom. And you
Mhm.
operate out of that place. You operate out of that kingship. And you can operate out of that kingship and still not allow people to make you go low. You know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah, yeah,
go dark. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're supposed to be children of the light.
exactly.
You stay lit. You know what I'm saying? So I
You
have a
talking,
T-shirt. One of
man.
my shirts is called "Stay Lit," and this is the one I'm wearing today. But I have just called "Stay Lit," and that's the whole idea behind it. As believers, we have a responsibility to be like Motel Six. Keep your light on.
Yep,
Stay
yep,
lit
yep,
all
yep,
the time, and don't allow outside influence to make you dim your light. Stay
exactly.
lit. Stay lit. We have a responsibility to love each other. We have a responsibility to look out for our fellow man. And that's the world I want to live in. Each one of us, the people that are alive today, we have a responsibility. This generation that is alive today, all of us have a responsibility to make sure that the generation that comes after us, we've made the world better.
Yep.
It should never be the same. And I said this on one of my lives a while back. That is the anxiety of millennials, because they're here, and in a lot of ways, they're like, wait a minute, we should be further than where we are. What's
Yep.
going on? And
Uh-huh.
so that's what causes their anxiety because we should be further. We shouldn't be still dealing with racism. That should not be a public, that shouldn't be a thing that we should be even talking about. And racism is
Mhm.
still 50 years, 50, 60 years ago, we had the civil rights movement and, we put the Civil Rights Act in place and we still have racism in 2020. That is insane. And so I feel like the anxiety that these millennials have, the frustration that they have with the world, is because the world hadn't evolved, and it should have evolved by now. And so the generations that are here today, we have a responsibility to make sure that we do just that,
Yeah.
evolve,
The
so
world.
that the generation, so that watch this, the generation that comes after us can celebrate us. They're like, whoa, I'm so grateful. My parents, my uncle made the world better by his
Yep.
existence.
Yep.
And so that's our responsibility. You talking about bringing heaven to earth? Every saint that leave the earth should the world should be better that they've been here.
Yeah. I agree with that, dog. I agree with that 100,000%, man. And you talking. You
Yeah,
need
man. So
preaching,
we
dog.
got to evolve, doc. We have to evolve, and
Yeah.
we have to evolve. Point blank. Period. And
Yeah.
that's the problem with our religious people. That's the problem with the church. it has not evolved. It's doing the same thing. And in the world of psychology, that's called insanity. To keep
Mm,
doing the same thing but expecting different results. Where they do
exactly.
that at? You know what I'm saying? That should not be the way that. And now listen, I am not. You know, most people say, "Well, he's." People will call me a liberal, and I laugh at that idea because I'm like, the Bible says, "Whom the Son sets free," or another word for free is liberated or liberty, is free indeed. All of us should be liberals. Probably not as far
Woo!
to the, probably not as far to the left as some of the extremes are, but we should be communicating liberalities. We should be communicating freedom. We should be communicating that. We should be liberal. And so that always is a rub for me. And when people, especially religious people, say to me, "You're so liberal," I'm like, "What happened again?"
Yeah, 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 yeah. And I think it's uh it's crazy how we've made the opposite of liberal conservative.
Bruh,
The opposite of liberal is enshackled.
that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? And that's not a political thing. Like
It's not political.
if you look in the thesaurus, the antonym of liberated is enslaved.
Yeah, man.
I ain't no slave.
Bruh. And I'll be honest with you, that's actually been the rub. And if I would say any leader that I've worked with, and if there's any leader I work with, and I've caused them some challenges, it's because of that thing. I'm going to be free. That's one of my t-shirts called "Be Free." I'm going to be free to be who I am, as articulate as I am. And if someone brings stuff to me that doesn't process well to me, so the root of my anxiety is bad information and bad logic.
Mm.
So I'm a natural logician. That's just who I am. So I'm a natural analytical person. So when someone brings something to me that don't make sense, I'm going to like, excuse me, can you make that make sense? Because that doesn't make sense. And here's the reasons why. And I'm just going to challenge it naturally. You have to help, and that's just the way I'm wired. That don't make me a bad person. That's just the way I'm wired. So I have learned to never apologize for that. I think if someone is bold enough to bring something to you, I think they should be bold enough to make it clear.
Mhm.
Make it clear. You know what I'm saying? Make it clear. Make it make sense. This show is called Moments of Clarity for that very reason. Clarity is everything. And so if you can't make it make sense,
It's king.
then I would say go back to the drawing board, make it make sense, and bring it back. And then let's talk some real let's get some things done. But the problem is people communicate out of a vacuum with no logic. Um, and in their mind, that's right. It was like until somebody challenges it and tell you that it's wrong. And we just have to be respectful of the way everybody see the world. But we gotta, while we're respectful, we also have to be open.
Mhm.
So I'm respectful, but I'm also open minded because I don't profess to have all the answers. So while I am vocal about the way I feel and the way I think, I'm also open to the possibility
Of
that I
being wrong.
could be wrong.
And you always been that way, man. As long as I know you, always been that way. Like, hey, let's chop it up. And if your way is the right way, all right, well, yeah, let's throw mine in the trash. But if it ain't,
Let's
like
go.
if you can't help me understand, and I'm with that, man.
That is for me. I think that's how the world can heal in a great way. I think we definitely have to be respectful of the way we all think and what we all process. And I think a
Mm.
true visionary, can make a blanket statement because they have all the details. And someone should be able to say, "Okay, sir, I don't quite understand that." And a true visionary
Down to you.
can come right back and like, "Oh, okay, well, cool. I'm glad you asked." And boom, boom, boom. We're like, now I get it. Which shows to me that we lack vision
Hmm.
behind some of our statements. It's just blanket statements. It's baseless statements. Ain't based on nothing but our feelings. And I always tell people that feelings are valid, and they are until some facts and information is brought to it. Because let's say I'm walking and I step on your toe, and you get like, "Oh man, you stepped on my foot." Yeah, I did. But the person that was in front of me, they caused me to trip and that caused me to step on your foot. Now, there's some logic to it. And where you blew all the way up, when you understand the backstory, you'll be like, oh,
Feeling. Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
makes sense. I get it. So, yeah, all is forgiven. But that's the
And,
problem.
and,
We
and
don't we
then
don't do that.
in a situation like that, somebody be like, "Oh, well, my bad. I shouldn't have went off on you." So they end
Exactly.
up apologizing to you when if they had, just settle down a little bit for a
Right.
minute, you know.
Right. But here's the way, especially people that are close to me. I'll always assume that my friends, that their intentions are good,
Hmm.
even when they do stuff that could hurt my feelings or do stuff that can rub me wrong. I assume, okay, their intentions, they because I know the person, so their intentions, they're not bad intentions.
Hmm.
And oftentimes when I talk to them. They'll be like, "Oh yeah," they'll tell me what their intentions are, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I get why you did that." But let me tell you how that offended me.
I came
And then
across.
we're having a great conversation at the end of it. They're learning me, I'm learning them. And so rather than jumping on the defense and what, I just assume, and that could be gullible, but I don't think it is. I think that's how you become a socialite.
Yep. 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 Yep.
uh, yeah, I assume your intentions are good
Yep.
until you prove me that till you prove to me that they're not.
And at that
But
point, it's like, all right, well, you've
yeah,
shown who you are,
yeah.
and thanks, and now moving on.
Right, right. So the last song on this EP, man, is American Dream.
Yeah,
Oh, bruh, hold on. This song stressed me out. Y'all probably like Tubbs. How's your blood pressure? 'Cause
getting stressed, man.
it's good stress. And by the way, I actually have perfect blood pressure. My doctor brags about it a lot every time. I'm serious. No, so I'm telling you, it's gonna make you laugh. Seriously, my doctor, last time I went to the doctor, he always says, "I'll be checking blood pressure. What you been eating?" So I eat what I want to eat, and so he said, "Man, you have perfect blood pressure," because my mom and my dad has high blood pressure and hypertension. So, my doctor assumes it'll come to me,
Yeah.
and he said, "Man, you have perfect blood pressure. How'd your blood pressure stay so perfect?" I said, "Well, doc, there's a cuss that sits right." I'm I'm kidding, but I told him, I said, man, I don't wear a lot of stuff, man. I don't wear
Yeah,
it. I
gotta
just
let stuff go.
yeah, and I have a lyric in the song that I wrote, and the lyric is live your life light.
Hmm.
And that's a motto for me. I try to live my life not boggled down with stuff. The world, obviously, the world that we live in can be a burden all by itself. So I just be intentional about, hearing things, processing things out, but be intentional about living my life light, where I'm not carrying all that stuff because I'm a natural empath, so I can't carry it. Otherwise, again, I'll burn down my city too.
Hmm.
So I have to make sure that I tend to my emotions, tend to my feels, so that when I'm ready to deal with another human being, I've dealt with myself. I tend to my stuff so that I can be what I need to be. I can light you up if you need to be lit up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So American Dream, bruh. Okay, talk to me.
All right, man. So this is the one that I started or that I wrote in February. Um, and I did this project February album writing month. And so the goal is to write 14 tunes in 28 days. And so I had a blank slate one day, and somehow I gotten into reading about the statement on the base of the Statue of Liberty. And it started with the line, "Send me you're tired and you're poor." And it was one of those clear moments that as a writer, sometimes a moment of clarity, and sometimes as a writer, it all just kind of pours out. And this was one of those times. Send me all your tired, send me all your poor, send me your finest soldiers to help me fight a war. And so I had that line and I was like, okay, it started to develop as um the song is really written from the perspective of America itself. You know what I'm saying? So if you take a listen to it and think about, oh, this is, if America was personified, this is America telling the story of what the American dream is like. And it's really the story of capitalism and uh, selfishness, self-centeredness, and in so many ways, even with the things that our country promises, it promises Yeah, you can be your own person, like you can be your own man and everything, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and all of these things are phenomenal things. These are all things that we that if we're not careful, we can take advantage of as citizens of this great country. And at the same time, it hasn't always been that way for everybody, and so yeah, and from a musical perspective, I just had this little riff. Dun, 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 dun. And so I was like, okay, I went into this mode of so many writers that I respect. That's my guy Mike Mims. What's up, Mike? So many writers that I respect: Joni Mitchell and Bob Dylan and James Taylor and Stevie Wonder. I mean, these are folks that were that have been able to write songs in a really subversive way, and talk about really heavy things. I think about what's my man from New Jersey? His name, the boss, Bruce Springsteen, is another
Oh,
one.
gotcha. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Um, are able to write songs that have these really subversive messages, but they hide them in this catchy, like singable, likable thing. And I just, I felt like I wanted to try my hand at something like that, and American Dream came. And so, yeah, and this is just a demo. This was all stuff that I did one day in February. I didn't go back into the studio, so I'm playing all the guitars and all of the stuff on this. Um, so maybe one day I'll go back in and revisit it. But yeah, American Dream is what came out.
Bro, it's a beautiful man, it's a beautiful track. Let's listen to some of it.
Send me all your time, send me all your poor. Lend me all your finest soldiers to help me fight a war. I can't promise anything but happiness and liberty, life you've only dreamt about before. Stand before my flag and pledge yourself away. Everything you ever wanted will come to you today. You can be all you wanna be. Our home is brave, our land is free. Unless you look aboard a certain way, the dream is only worth the price you pay. Oh, it's a dream, dream, American dream. Open up your eyes to see what I see. Oh, it's a dream, dream, American dream. It might not work for you, but it works for me.
Ah, oh man.
Sail on board my cruise, I'll take you to your home. A destination that I'll choose is now where you belong. You'll come and work my land for free. I'll sell you and your family and never tell the world that I was wrong. As long as it will move my dream along.
Bruh.
Oh, it's a dream, dream, American dream. Open up your eyes and see what I see.
Man.
Oh, it's a dream, dream, American dream. It might not work for you, but it works for me.
Bro, this track, bro, man, listen here, man, it's crazy. I played as much of it as I did because this particular track, man, speaks to clearly. You are definitely an historian to
Mm.
communicate this in a way that's clear, that is just honest. It's pure. And thank you for that, man. That's crazy. That's
I
crazy.
appreciate that.
Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. And it speaks to, again, it speaks to the things that have been plaguing this country for so long. Um, the way this country was started from a riot. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
we like to, history teaches us that, oh, you know, Columbus founded America. This country, there were people already here in this country. There were people that were already tending to this land that were living here already. Uh, and so when these bumbling, clumsy people got to this land, they slaughtered people to get their way. They tricked and they all these games and to get their way. And not only did they kill the people that were here, saw the people that were here, they dragged people from another country, uh, the
To
continent
build
of
it.
Africa, um, not to be free, um, but to work and build this country's wealth. Um, just for the same people that we built this country's wealth for, just for them to say back to us, "You're lazy.
Right. Right.
You're
Right.
good. You're good for nothing." It's that's a beautiful history lesson. Again, this whole project is anybody that's listened to it or will listen to it can see how vast it is as far as you deal with the spirituality, our connection with God, the repentance, but then how we should deal with each other socially through our responsibility as believers to keep our light on and light the world up and actually bring heaven to earth. Um, and Thank you, bro. I get emotional thinking about this piece because it just gave me all the right feels.
Mm-hmm.
It challenged my thinking. Um, it dealt with some inner trauma, some frustration, some anger issues that I had just with the world today. And I just appreciate you, man, for yielding yourself to bring these conversations to light.
Mm. Thank you, my
and that
man.
and that's what they are. I think they're conversation starters. And bro, you can write. I'm serious, bro. You can write a whole book that partners this album, bro. It'll
Mm-hmm.
be a bestseller. Because I'm saying you tackle all the right stuff, and from the perspective that you're communicating it, bruh, it's so clear, it's beautiful. And if you don't, from listening to this, if your heart don't break, if you don't cry, if you don't say to God first, I may have been wrong about that. I may have thought about that the wrong way. um, and To start that process for you, then you can forget about ever making a impact that's going to make the world better.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that's why I keep saying to you, Wood, this project, bruh, is it's a catalyst, bruh, for healing. It really is, bruh. So if this helps move this conversation forward. Um, that's why I wish that I was as close enough to the the Kamalas and the Bidens, because if they hear this, they'd be like, "Oh my God, this is crazy." That what?
Mm-hmm.
It just speaks to all the right stuff, bro. It speaks to it because it speaks to, even though, watch this, even though you are a Christian man, you speak to the world in a way that, bro, people are like, man, I can connect with what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
It's not all deep and so spooky that it's so far from us. It's right here in your face,
Yeah.
but it's still palatable. You know what I'm saying? It's right here, it's in your face, it's thrown in your face, but it's palatable that it's not, oh, that didn't hurt me. It may have it made me think, it made me feel, which is all good. Um, Especially if it helps make you become better, the best version of you possible. And I think that's what this song does, man. It helps you to reflect and helps you to challenge your ish.
Mm.
So that again you can be better for your fellow man. Obviously, if we're not better for each other, then we can just throw the Bible in the trash. It don't mean anything.
Exactly.
Um, But
Exactly.
if we're going to be here, we have to be better for each other. And again, the way we become better for each other is that we deal with our own personal trauma.
Hmm.
So this country has inflicted a lot of trauma on black and brown people. But also, watch this. I'll look at it from another way. The people that came to this country seeking this country had levels of trauma on them.
Yep,
They
yep,
were running from something too. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So it's trauma on trauma on trauma on trauma. I think if my white brothers and sisters can look at it from that perspective, black people ain't really trying to get revenge.
No, no, no.
No, we're not. We're trying to make sure that one, we are represented properly. One, that we have a seat at the table because that's only fair.
Yep.
Especially with a lot of this country's wealth being built on on the backs of black people. It's like, hey man, yeah, don't X me out. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Don't constantly keep blocking progress
yep.
for the sake of your dream.
You know what, man? I'll say one thing about the song, but even before that, man, I've long held the belief that black people in general are not like, hey, help me out. It's more of just don't get in the way.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like I think black and brown people in our country have grown accustomed to being under. Therefore, we've grown a certain level of resilience. You know what I'm saying? And can rebuild. You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
can survive the harshest of winters and come back. You know what I'm saying? Like it never
And
happened.
right. And bounce back looking beautiful as ever. Like, man, you
Exactly.
went through that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
brown and shiny.
Right.
Hey man, so American Dream, whenever I hear it, I kick myself because I had written a bridge to it, but I wrote it like when the project was done, and I just didn't want to go back and deal with it. But the bridge lyric is it's like a response. It's can you breathe? Because it's far too hard for me. Will you please move your knee so I can find my place within this dream? You know, so it's the black American response of like, hey,
What?
can you breathe? Because I can't. Just
What?
take your knee off of me so I can find my place within this dream. Like that. It's the response is yeah, like the dream is there for the taking. And I know a lot of people who have migrated to this country. You know what I mean? People my age, people your age that talk about America as being this beautiful place. And for them and again for so many other people, it is. But I when I think about, brother George Floyd, um, and his words, man, I can't breathe. They're like that wasn't just him. Literally, he couldn't, right?
Right.
Um, but that was also, I think that struck a chord because
Absolutely.
it wasn't just a dying, a set of a dying man's last words. It was all of us saying, "Yo, I can't,
Right.
I'm suffocating. Like I can't breathe in this
Right.
jam.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
all I need you to do is move your knee. You don't even have to help me get up.
Right.
Just don't encumber me."
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I'm with you on that, man. Like there's no, I know I personally don't want revenge, and I don't know no black people that want revenge.
I don't. I think the only people that the only black people that feel like revenge is necessary is because they feel like it's taking too long. They don't get it. So maybe if we return, maybe we if we return the same level of energy, then perhaps, and it's it's important again that all of us as human beings make sure that we evolve. I say that I can't say that enough. We have to be evolve beyond where we've been. We can't constantly live in 2020 and have this 19th century rhetoric, stuff that people are saying like, is that a ghost? Nigga, what you still doing up? You know what I'm saying? That level, that stuff should not be named amongst us. It really shouldn't. all these racial slurs and all this evil, all this hate. It's like, man, how do people that profess the name of God have this level of um, I think I challenged a leader one time before because um, he was so adamant about defending the faith, and I'm like, bruh, you know, it don't need defend. It really doesn't.
Oh,
It stands on its own. You don't have to defend it. You think you out here warring for God? He don't need no warriors like that, bruh.
and the reality is that it was here before you. The mystery of our faith is that Christ has died, Christ is risen, and he's going to come again. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it didn't need defending then. It don't need defending.
Right. And dude, listen,
No.
dude, I promise you, I can agitate religious people so bad. Someone said to me, "Do you not know that the saints are gonna judge the world?" I said, that don't mean now. So
Exactly.
you gonna bring judgment to the world now?
Yeah.
Oh, you missed the boat. That's
Yeah.
that's not that's the wrong thinking.
Yeah.
Um,
And the kingdom is now and not yet. It's this thing that, you know, if you don't get it, you don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Like if your idea of it is one sided, or if your idea of it is if your idea of the kingdom is so that you as a Christian or Christ follower or whatever can wield power, then you miss it.
missed it.
You don't get it.
Missed
You
it.
don't get it at all.
Yeah.
And yeah, man.
That's so unfortunate, man. And so I'm grateful that you got it. And because I'm serious, we all need it. And so thank you so much for communicating this body of work, man. I'm telling you, bro. Think about it, bro. You need to write a book, bro, right now. I'm telling you, it'd be a perfect compliment. If not a book, then a workbook. Something needs to complement this particular project because it speaks to so much stuff, bro. And
Mm,
I'm telling you, one, because your melodies are so good. Bonnie and I had a conversation about this. Your melodies are so good, you can miss some of these lyrics because the melodies are really like they're tranquil. You know what I'm saying? And so I love it that that is sort of kind of folky. So it puts you in this sort of kind of tranquil space. So the music is beautiful, bro. Your melodies are amazing,
mm.
and I had to listen to this song, American Dream. This is another song. Once I heard it, because I listened to it, I'm like, bro, this is great. And I make doing and work for me together. It may not work for you. Then I started listening to the lyrics, and I'm like, okay, you teaching me a history lesson. Okay. Oh, let
Mm,
me. Oh, Lord, help! So it's beautiful, bro, and I do not mind. I don't mind helping you figure that part of it out. I'm telling you, bro, there's something else that needs to come and alongside of this that can give people something else.
mm,
Because I think each one of these songs, bro, is a whole. It could be a whole book by itself, but
mm,
they definitely are a whole chapter at least. So
mm.
you got at least 4 chapters of a book right here on each one of these songs. And that American Dream, Doc. The history. I mean, bruh, that is a whole. Again, each one of these songs is a whole book, bruh. So, man, I know you trust me and you believe what I'm saying. You know, I'm not blowing smoke.
Yeah, right.
This is a beautiful body of work, and I
Thank you, man.
definitely feel like there's something that needs to complement it because this is so good, bro. It's so good. And with
Yeah.
all the stuff that people are listening to, you own to something, bro. This is the clearest thing that I've heard on most of these subjects.
Mm,
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. So I listened to when you were promoting the project, I listened to this uncertain year because that was the only one that was available
yeah.
online. And so when I downloaded it, I'm listening to it, and I was like, what? I was, oh, bro, we got to talk about this. And I didn't know what the other songs sounded like until last week. And so, Abba, I told you, man, that thing took me completely, got me right together, man. Of course, this uncertain year, man. American Dream is just great, bruh. And Upside of Heaven, man. Yeah, bro. So I love you, bro. I appreciate you again.
And likewise.
Always yielding yourself, man, to put out music that speaks to the consciousness, the soul, and the spirit of man, bro. I mean, this body of work could very easily be a Bible, bro.
Mm,
um, because it has all the right elements, bro. It is it's the information, it's the revelation, it's the the confirmation, it's the history, bro.
mm.
It's beautiful, bro. It's a beautiful body of work. So please, let me know anyway. Let me know how I can help you get the word out about it, or I don't know. I'm telling you, you're a writer, bro. Go ahead and write a book or a workbook or something to complement that thing.
Man, thank you, C.
I'm telling you, bro, it's awesome, dude. This it's a roadmap, bro. I promise you, it's a roadmap to healing. Trust me, bro. So I just appreciate you, man. I can talk about this project all day because one, it because of what it did for me in the moments that I listened to it. I was floored. I really was floored, and then I was excited, and I said, "Oh, I know this dude." I was floored. This my brother. I'm like, oh, this is crazy. And I was like, oh man, yeah, we're gonna have some great conversations around these subjects. So again, thank you, man. I know the hour is definitely far spent, but again, I had to make sure that I carved out some time to make sure that I once said publicly thank you for putting this out. And I think it just couldn't have came out at a better time when there's so much transition going on in the country. Well, one administration is coming out, another one's going in. Um, we need to heal so that again we can progress forward. We just need to, and I think this project, man, is a great catalyst for that idea. So
Thank you, brother.
thanks, man. Ugh. So now we're gonna end the podcast today, but I want to a little bit of this uncertain year at the end or the even, bruh. I gotta hear that even y'all listen. The project is called This Uncertain Year. It's by Delwin Island. Wherever you get your music from, go download it. It's just 4 songs, but I promise you, it's so worth it. Again, I said this before. I'll say it again. Healing definitely is our portion, but it is our choice. I want you to make the conscious choice today to choose to be better, to choose healing, and not be bitter. The world needs the light. The world needs us to be lit. The world needs us to be healed. Once we heal, the Bible says, "Freely you receive, freely you can give it." So
Hmm.
as you heal, then you are an authority figure now, and you can actually heal people through information, through logic, through just a smile on your face. So it's important that you heal so you can heal, right? So I want to, Delvin, do you have any last words, man? Thank you so much.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, Charlie, man. You my bro. And
Always will be.
yeah, just to continue to give me an audience and for continuing to spur me along. You know what I mean? Like the scriptures talk about spurring one another along to good works.
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
inspire me, man. Like you spur me along. Um and to know that I have you as a brother that continues to push me, that gives me comfort, and it makes me want to continue to do good work to in part to make you proud, man. So thank you,
Dude,
brother.
please do, man. Listen,
Thank
if that's the case, man, I promise you, I'll be tap dancing all the time. Because I'm just saying, you really do, bro. And I think you, I'm so glad that you're getting clear about it. I'm so glad you're getting clear as to how good of a writer that you really are. Because I
you.
remember the last time I was playing some songs, you're like, I forgot I wrote that. I'm like, dog, you don't put some stuff in the earth, doc. And so I'm glad that you're like, oh man, yeah, this is what I do. That's what you do. But it's great that you can compliment it. Because you got the smooth melodies and the smooth vocals, bro. It definitely is, dude. It's almost like that little charming thing, that you know what I'm saying. I'm saying you get caught up in these melodies. You be like, oh man, I'm caught up, and then but you got to make sure that you are
Listen to
listening
the words, man.
intently because these lyrics, I promise you, if you're willing, these lyrics will usher you to a place
Mm,
where you can start your healing process. And as you start your healing process for you individually, then everybody around you will feel that, will experience that as well.
Mm.
So again, brother, thank you so much, man, for this offering, bro. Oh, so let's listen to, we're gonna end the broadcast on listening to the rest of this uncertain year. We're gonna listen to the last minute and 53 seconds of it, just cause I want to get even. E- that even, doc, I was like, stop. I'm like, come back, give me some more of the evens, doc. It's beautiful, bro. So thank you, man. Thank you for catching those waves, man. Man, because you could have just kept, you just could have kept right over there even and just keep going. But you said, let me come back to it. Even, even. Foolishness, bro. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
man. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, bro. I love you so much.
Too, bro.
Let's go out, listen to a little bit of this uncertain year, man. I'm gonna get to the end right to you.
For there is perfect love available in this uncertain year. Though the fear I feel is real to me, in you there is no fear. For there is perfect love available, even, 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 even when it feels like I'm losing, I'll sing, even, even, even when it feels like I should give up, even, even, even when it seems like it's over, I'll say, even, even. Though the fear I feel is real to me, and you there is no fear, for there is perfect love available in this uncertain year.
Oh man. Delwin Island, man, thank you so much, bro, for being a part of this segment of Moments of Clarity, man. You definitely are an artist at heart, and man, I'm just excited, man, that to call you my brother, call you my friend. I just, bruh, this is a beautiful offering, bro. So I appreciate you, man. Continue, keep writing, man. Take a month in December, doc, and write again. This is, bruh, it's beautiful, man. Because what you're writing, dude, is conscious music, bruh. It's that woke stuff. I mean, if you've been asleep for 100 years, this will wake you up. Like, wait a minute, what's happening? Yeah. So thank you, man. Thank you for
Appreciate
this
you, bro.
presentation, bro.
Thank you,
Thank you
man.
so much. I appreciate you, man. So listen, we're gonna leave you guys, but you can definitely follow Delvin. He's on Facebook. He's on Instagram as well. Definitely follow him. Download the songs from this uncertain year. But also, Delvin has other music on all your online distribution, music distribution outlets. Download all his stuff. They're equally as good as this particular project. So definitely follow Delvin Island. Definitely share the music with your friends. He has videos on YouTube as well. Go check out my brother. I'm so proud of this guy. He's my brother. He's my friend. I'm excited. He's trying to be a part of Moments of Clarity. So until next time, you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Y'all stay positive, stay creative. Mask up out in these streets, cause
Yes, yes.
Thug Rona got a message for you. I'm telling you. Listen, she is a body snatcher. So make sure that you mask up, take care of yourself, take care of your family. Have a great holiday. We'll see you next time. Take care.
Thank
Love
you.
you, bro.
You too, man.